And shortly before 9 p.m. last evening at the Great Northern Mall in Clay, when the woman and the child were accosted. The suspect bound the woman and raped the child in their vehicle, and then drove the victim's car a short distance to Verplank Road in the town of Clay. The child was able to flee from the vehicle and was assisted by a passing motorist. The woman was transported to Upstate University Hospital in Syracuse with multiple stab wounds, where she was later pronounced deceased. The child is currently being treated at the hospital for injuries related to the attack. The suspect, David J. Renz, R-E-N-Z, age 29, from 6526 Lakeshore Road in the town of Cicero, was arrested a short distance from the scene by BCI investigator Gary Darstein. After consultation with the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office, Renz was charged with rape first, a Class B felony punishable by up to 25 years, kidnapping first, a Class A1 felony punishable by life in prison, murder second, a Class A1 felony punishable by life in prison, murder in the first degree, a Class A1 felony punishable by up to life in prison. The state police were assisted at the scene by Onondaga County Air 1 and responding sheriff's patrols. I can take a few questions. The investigation is still underway, so my comments may have to be limited. I'll take what I can.
What do you know about David Renz? Does he have any priors, or what is his situation?
I don't normally comment on prior criminal arrests. I don't have any evidence of prior criminal convictions.
Was there any evidence that they knew each other? Was this a random type of act?
Absolutely no indication that the victim and the suspect knew each other.
Where was Mr. Renz apprehended at?
He was apprehended the next road over from Verplank Road. It was an adjoining road. He'd run through the woods, and one of the responding patrols arrested him.
Troopers were up searching around the parking area by the mall. Any indication that he gave that he was hiding there waiting, or?
We don't have any evidence of that. He has retained an attorney and has declined to answer any questions.
Do we know where the victims were approached at the mall?
I understand they were leaving a gymnastics class shortly before 9.
The girl what's the relationship to the girl? No?
Victim.
All right.
Was this at the rear of the mall or the front of the mall?
I don't have that information.
Can you tell me about Lori, where she's employed, any family in the area?
I don't have the information about her employment at this time. We're relatively new into the investigation.
We know that there were, obviously stab wounds. What other kind of weapons did he carry, if any?
I'm going to decline to comment on evidentiary items at this particular time. We're awaiting the results. We anticipate an autopsy this morning, which will tell us a lot more of the cause of death.
How was the child? The child fled from the car, right?
That's correct.
Did somebody help her? How did this take place?
A passerby saw her running on the road and stopped and assisted her.
She fled on Verplank Road?
That's correct.
So do we think the crimes happened on that rural road and not at the mall?
We think the initial sexual assault of the child occurred in a deserted area of the mall. We think the assault on the woman occurred on Verplank Road.
When you say deserted area of the mall, do you still mean the parking lot?
That's our best information at this time.
Do you have surveillance?
We're looking into all of that. We're still piecing it together.
One thing that you're careful about releasing any photographs of this man. Why is that?
At this particular time, we're still going to be doing interviews at the mall. If we were to release a photograph of the suspect at this time, we're concerned it may pollute the investigation. Normally would release a photo. In this case, we're not in a position to do so right now. It'll be released down the road.
So the suspect is not being cooperative?
The suspect's invoked his right to have an attorney present and refused to answer any questions.
Did he put up any resistance?
There was no physical resistance from the suspect with my people.
But he did run through the woods and try to get away?
To flee the scene, yes.
Was there a foot chase to apprehend him?
We had Onondaga County Air 1 helicopter out, which was a tremendous resource for us. We also had a canine track that was going on. The suspect came out of the woods on an adjoining road, and at that point was captured.
We had heard earlier reports that this girl was unharmed, the young child. Why such the change?
I can tell you that sure where you got the information, but it was a brutal attack, and she's suffered injuries as a result of that attack.
Was it busy in the area of that mall, in the parking lot? People coming and going, do you know?
I don't have that information. We weren't at the mall until much later.
I'll give you guys more. All set? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay, sorry, with the way it is right now, that's the best I can do without gumming things up for a prosecution.